Guys, let's continue with the topic that we have started already, and we have discussed multiple things about the topic. So you know what I'm talking about. So let's continue with Apache Spark, right? So what is Spark used for? You guys know we have discussed multiple concepts of the Spark and the use case where this particular uh, tool, or I can say the framework, used for, right? So if you want to do any analysis, especially okay on the big data, and you want this analysis will perform in memory, means directly on the RAM to improve the performance. And I'm talking about the time. Okay, then Spark would be useful. Okay, and yesterday, guys, we have constructed a Spark single node cluster on one of the instance of AWS. Okay, so till here we have done yesterday. So today would be focused more on the practicals. So what I'm going to do, let me connect to the AWS instance that we have launched yesterday. Okay, and let me log in directly with the root account. Okay, and let me check quickly, does I have uh, Spark installed? So yeah, we have a command. You can use Spark and do double tap. You will see Spark command there. So most probably Spark is installed in this instance. So before, guys, we proceed with this topic of Spark. Okay, I already told you yesterday, Spark is a tool built on a language called Scala. Okay, so this is the one thing, right? But if you want to work on the Spark, there's a multiple different language you can use to interact with the Spark. Maybe Python, Java, Scala, and other languages also. Okay, so my plan, guys, for today, because we guys are very comfortable with Python, right? So my plan is today is to introduce you Scala language, and then
a large satellite structure called Seacom, present between the small intestine and large intestine, also contains.
so my plan is to introduce you, sorry, um, a tool, a language, I can say this called Scala, Scala language, and that's all. And after you comfortable with Scala language, right, we will see how we can write a code in the Scala language to communicate with the Spark. And we use Spark obviously for the analysis purpose, right? So that would be a high level plan for today. So just invest some small time right now in the Scala language. Okay, so if you want to work in the Scala, again, it is language something like Python. Okay, so that's all, right? So whatever you normally do in the language, for loop, while loop, objected class, functions, exception handling, all those things you can do over here. And they also provide you Scala cell, the way Python provides. So if you run Scala only and if it enter, okay, internally they give you a Scala prompt, that's called REPL of the Scala, the way you have in the Python. Okay, and now if you want to do something, let's say my plan is to print hi, or maybe Linux world. So they print almost it more look like the way we do in the Python. Okay, so obviously there's no good reason to explain you again what is string or what is if or else. Just want to tell you, well, again, very simple language, the way you use other language also. But if you want to uh, create some variable, let's say x equals to 5, they give the error. Okay, so because in the Scala, if you want to create a variable, you have to use a keyword called var. Okay, now x variable created. If you want to print the value of x, either you can use this, or we also have print function to print the value of x. By chance, they have one more function called print ln. They print the value of your variable, and ln means they give you extra one new line. So depend guys what exactly you want to use, you can use here. Okay. But there's one more variable like var. Okay, if you want to create a variable called y equals to 10, and if you want to create this variable, so instead of var, you can use val keyword also. Okay, so again, same thing, they create a variable for you and everything is the same. Okay, and they also understand integer automatically the way Python also understand. That's called type inference. So they understand your data type. Okay, so everything is same, but what is the difference between var or val? So if you use val, it will create a variable, but this variable is more like constant. It means if you want to change the value of y, it fails. You can't reassign it. So val make the variable immutable. That's called read only. You can't change the value of that variable. But yeah, if you want to change the value of y, so x, you can change it. Because we created the x with a keyword called var, where make this variable a normal variable. It means it is a mutable, means you can change it. Okay, so something like this. So very quick start introduction of Scala. That's what right now we need this. So before we proceed with the next part. Okay, but otherwise there's a lot of tutorial available. We know the concepts of programming language, apply the same concept. Yes, only maybe syntax might change. Okay, otherwise mostly the things are same. But maybe as we know and use in the future, or we need in the future, we will see more thing about Scala. But that's a very quick introduction about Scala. Let me quit from this prompt. This is the keyword to quit from this command prompt. Okay, so let's move to Spark. So my plan is to do something on the Spark, to write a code. But today my plan is to write a code in a language called Scala to do some analysis. And for this, I am launching Spark, not with the PySpark. If you use PySpark, again, you connect to your local cluster, but here they give you Python way to interact with the Spark. But if you want to interact with the Spark with a language called sorry, it's not Spark, the language called Scala, then this is the command you have to use, Spark cell. So again, it will connect to your cluster. By default, they connect to your local cluster. Okay, and then after they connect, they will provide you Scala prompt. So whatever you know about the Scala, everything you can apply here. So they welcome to Spark. They provide a Scala cell to you. Okay, and they also tell you they connected to the local cluster. Okay, and where the connection maintain, the session maintain, context maintain, they maintain the context in SC object or SC variable. Okay, something the way you see in the Python. So whatever you have seen yesterday, same thing you can do here, but obviously the Scala as a language, small syntax difference might be there, but otherwise everything is the same. So what is my plan for today? So my plan is something like this. Let me first quit from the Scala prompt. So my plan is something like this. Everybody know about this file. Okay. And this file you also know about. In this file, every line is user. And in the last statement, if you see bash, it means this user can able to log in. So if you have a requirement, something like this, how many user can log in? So I can pass this output, this command to grep and search for the bash. Okay, so these are three information we have collected, or three records we have collected. But if your requirement is to do some analysis, right, this is not analysis, we have just collected the information. Okay, but if you want to do some analysis, what you want to do, for example, I want to count the number of lines. So this is called analysis. So this is my entire data. I use grep to filter my data and use wc-l to do some analysis. Again, this is a very simple Linux command. And if you remember this concept, I explained you in our Hadoop classes also. Okay, so technically, if I very quickly explain to you, so this is the location where our data located. This data will provide to this command. This command help us to do filters. Sometimes filter also known as map or mapper. Okay, and what a data filter? These are the data they filter. Okay, this information provided to this command, and this command use whatever I want to do. I want to count lines. I want to cut this number. I want to sum it. So whatever analysis you want to perform, this command will do for you. So technically in Hadoop world, I given the word called reducer. So this is the one who will do reducing for you or analysis for you, and they're doing some action for you. Okay, so this is a command of Linux for what? For doing some analysis. But same thing you can do with Hadoop, how we have seen in my Hadoop classes. But same thing if you want to do in the Spark, how we can do. So that's the plan right now. Okay, and again that with the language called Scala. So I want to do the same operation in Scala, but not Scala I'm using as a language, but internally I want Scala will do entire process. If I give the number here, process number 1, things number 2, thing number 3, all the 3 steps Scala will perform in the Spark cluster. Okay, so how can you do? Obviously you have to first connect with the Spark cluster. How? You guys know there's a command. So we are connecting the Spark cluster, and they will prompt you a language called Scala. Now I will tell my Scala what I want to do here. So I will tell my Scala that first thing that I want to do is this one. Okay, that's called, I'm providing you some text file, read the data. But I told you yesterday, guys, the beauty of the Spark, not the Scala, beauty of the Spark is if you want to read this file, they only store the information and the reference where this data located. That's all. Okay, so maybe let's say I give a variable called user. So in this user variable, they only maintain the information where this data located. They don't load this data in our RAM till the time we need this. And understand one thing, guys, when we need this data. So if you talk about this 3 commands in the pipe, so when we need this data, we need the data at the option number 3 or the step number 3. We don't need any data in step 1. Okay, we don't need any data in step 2 because still here we haven't done any analysis part or action part here. But as soon as step number 3 come up, action come up, then we say now somebody asking for the action or analysis. Now we have to go back from where we get the data. They say we get the data from grep command. For grep command say I will get the data from cat command. So they go back. So technically, if I write over here, so first we have a cat command, then we have a grep command, then we have wc command, or maybe I can write a count command. Grep is something like a filter command. Or cat is the one who will provide you your storage or provide your data. Okay, so over here, what we have done, we say we will do this thing first, this second, this third. So it is something like this. Okay, but as soon as third step done or third step clicked, or you can think somebody click on the third step, they say now we are asking for the action. Now we need data, go back, ask the grep filter to get the data. They say I don't know where the data is. they go back, ask the get command, go to reference and get the data. After get the data, give me back, I will filter, give me back, I will count. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. So you can think, guys, there is more look like these are the node. This is the also node, and this also node. I'm talking about the graph data structure node that I already explained yesterday. Just want to give you very quick summary so you can relate with today's practical. Okay, but here in the Spark world, these guys are not known as node. These are known as RDD, resilient distributed data set or data structure. So this is also RDD, and this is also the RDD. But this RDD is known as action RDD. So as soon action perform, all the previous RDD, chain RDD, pipeline RDD, they will run on the fly. But till the time action don't perform, they never perform to you. So they will work in a lazy way. They just keep silent. They don't do anything. They don't run in grab command. But for example, if I in this line, if I run the grab command, as soon as I run the grab command, they run it. As soon as I get command, they run. So this is not lazy. If you do the same operation in Spark, when you run this command, they don't run. Then you run this command, they don't run. But as soon as you run this command, they will start running all the commands that previously been asked by us to launch. That's called lazy operation. And very important, guys, because this is big data. Why we need to run the intermediate commands, filters, or getting the data, we run it whenever we need in the future. Okay, so it is something like this. So this is the Linux command. Same thing if you want to do in the Spark with the help of Scala, how you can do. That's what I want to write here. So I'm going to create a variable called user, or this is a variable. So I'm going to use a var keyword or maybe val keyword to make it constant because I don't want to change it. And here sc is a object. In sc we have a function called text file. Okay, and here in this text file I'm giving my file location. I have a local file. The file is this one. Okay, so this command, this is the syntax of Scala, but this statement is exactly equals to this statement. Okay, that's all. So this RDD has created. So if I'm a user, so they say I am just a RDD, means I am a node of the graph, means I just hold the information. I am not performing anything yet. Now what I want to do next, I want to do this operation. That's called grab. But here, guys, this concept is called filter. So again, I'm going to create one more variable. So let's say my variable name is bash user. And what I want to perform this operation, guys, on this data. So again, something like this. So I want to run my grab command on this data. And who hold this information? My information is held by user variable. So I say on this user variable, I want to do some operation, and operation is called filter. Okay, filter. And in the filter, what I want to do? So technically in the filter, I want go to every line, and wherever I find bash, retrieve that line. That's all. Retrieve that line. So for this, we can create one function here. There's a one function from Scala. This is called contains function, and this contains function has a capability to search something. This statement. Okay. So what they do, this will do, they will go to this particular file, this file, read first line. Okay, and this line they store in a variable called line variable, or you can give any variable name. And whatever line stored in line variable, I will provide this line to this function. Okay, guys, this is the way we, if you know in the Python, we have a lambda function. Okay, so something like lambda kind of syntax I have written here. Written here. Okay, so what this line means, from this file, I read first line. This first line I store in this variable. This variable I am passing to you can think is a function. In function, this is the argument, or this is the your function body part. So whatever information you pass in this variable or parameter argument, we run the function, and in this line is one string, and in this string we have a content function of Scala. What they do, if this line contain bash, so this line will say true, and if they say true, they will get this line stored in this variable. So again, this is somehow like grep command. Okay, so what finally this line will do, this line will filter all the bash string from the file. But again, this is the bash RC is, so bash user is again RDD. Okay, they say I'm RDD of filter, means I haven't run this yet. Maybe file size is terabyte in size. I haven't run this yet because nobody asked me to do some action. But as soon as you do some action, I will perform it. Okay, so what I'm going to do finally, so this particular variable, your last node, I would like to do some action, and action, let's say my count. Okay, so this count is something like W7L command here. And when I count, so now they say I need data. From where data come from? They say data come from this. But they say now again, I don't have a data where data come from. They say from user variable, and user variable is pointing to my local or my HDFS Hadoop. So wherever data is located, they go and retrieve the data now this point in time, and they will run everything for you. So it's like a DAG graph, directed acyclic graph. So they will run this node, then they run this node, then they run this node, and finally analyze your data. Like I see here, very quickly they got the answer. Same thing if you have done in Hadoop, we have done already. You will see, again, try if you already forgot. It might take 50-60 seconds to run it. But same data, if I perform in Spark, okay, within a second or less than a second, I got my answer. Okay, so that's what I was talking about in my last classes about the Spark, and this is a good example to understand RDD also, directed acyclic graph also, plus how the Spark work. So by this some one example, multiple things we can understand over here. Okay, otherwise it is your choice. You want to do count, multiple functions available or multiple actions available. For example, if you just want to collect the information, it is something like cat command. So if I run over here a cat command, so they will only print these 3 lines. So it is something like collect command or cat command, I can say. So they print all these 3 lines, whatever information this guy has filtered. Okay, so but it is more like this. Okay, so this again good example, guys, to understand. 1 minute, please. So this is a good example to understand this concept. Otherwise, if you want to see more examples on Spark, so if you just search Apache Spark, okay, this is the official website. Okay, they have a lot of documents plus a lot of examples, what language you want to use here. Okay, so you have to do in Python, Scala, Java, multiple different examples they have. So let me run one more example like this from here. So if you guys remember in our Hadoop classes, I have explained you a concept called word count or maybe word frequency. And explain you if you have a file, in the file we do mapper, in mapper then we do reducer, and reducer will finally give you a word count. And how this word count or word frequency example work with mapper and reducer, I already explained to you if you remember, but very quickly, if I want to explain you one more time. Okay, so what I'm doing, let me create one document for you. I want to share this data to you. So 1 minute, please. So I'm going to do a word count operation, a word frequency operation, with the Scala language, but on the top of Spark. So how we can do, let me create for you. Okay. So yesterday document I have shared with you already in the class also, in the cloud already. So okay. So what I'm going to do, let me quit from this file. Okay. And I'm going to create one file. Let's say a file would be linuxworld.txt. I don't know Vim command here. Let me use vi, and I'm putting a lot of data here. This is last word, hello, hi, hello. Okay, so this is the data we have, and what I want to do, word frequency, means count hello how many times, hi how many times, this how many times. That's what I want to do here. Similar kind of example we have done in Hadoop also. Okay, so how we can count, I already explained the concept, but concept is simple. This is the first line. Okay, and first line will split these lines into words. So finally the output will be something like this. So will we split this line into word? This is Linux world, hello, hi. And after we split, we give every word a number. Again, this come once, this come once, this come once, and something like that. Okay. So if you guys remember in Hadoop, I explained you, if you split this word line into words and give some number, this concept is called mapper. Okay. And after we do all the things, or after we do the same thing, all the lines, then what we do, we start counting. So hello would be a key. This is the value. So we count hello key come how many times? 1 plus 1 plus 1, 2 times, 10 times. That's called reducer. Okay. So hello is a key. LW is key. So we'll count this key come how many times. This is called reduce or reducer by key. Okay. So this is how a word frequency or word count algo or concept work. Concept is same. Either use Hadoop or normal Python Scala code or maybe Spark. But how can you do in this Spark? That's what I want to show you here. So I have this file in this folder. So let me use again Spark shell. Okay. And if you want to do word count, so this is the example I can use. First, I will read a file, either for HDFS, but my file is there in my local computer. So this is the first thing. So my file is located in the root folder and lw.txt. This file first RDD we created. Then what we'll do, we'll split the lines. Okay, so for this guys, there's a line split function we have. So let me use this particular function directly over here, and let me store this guy into a variable called let's say my split. So this file we provide to this guy, Fred mail function. What they do mapping, means they give first line split into word, and for splitting we give a one space here because my file I have given between the words I have given the space, so space would be my splitter. Okay, so this is the next RDD we have created. Okay, now what has been split, now what I'm going to do, I'm giving every word a number so we can count in the future, and for this we have map function over here. So I'm asking map, there's a one variable called split or one RDD called split. Okay, go to this, they have a lines. Okay, and in lines they will split the lines into word. Every word I want to give word with number one, so word will be my key and number one will be the value, and I want to store this thing in a variable called, let's say, my map. Okay, and finally I will do all lines number come up, so I will take hello, hi as a key, and all the number I want to count. For example, if you count here hello come 2 times, so final hello output would be 2, hi output would be 1. That this concept is called reducer. And for this we have a reduce by key function available. Okay, so in this particular data called my map, I'm taking this is a special variable from Scala. So any value come up, so first value will go replace with this variable, second value will replace this variable. So let me store this guy into variable called, let's say, count. So guys, this is got reduced, and now I want to save this thing in a file, or maybe I want to collect the information, what information they collected. So that's what, guys, they collected. So this come this much time, hello come 30 times, hi come 15 times. So what I've done, I've created a pipeline. First do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and then do this. So this kind of pipeline they created. Depend, guys, upon what is your use case. Here the use case is more about word count or word frequency. So again, here Spark doesn't help you. Plus Scala also doesn't help you if you know the concept or the algorithm how word count work, that I already explained in very detail in my Hadoop classes. So same concept we can apply here, only maybe function name might change, let me syntax might change. That is the different point, but the main concept is knowing the algorithm that you guys know already, right? So this is again one good example we have created. We can do also one more thing. Rather than I create multiple variables, we can write run this function dot this function, then run dot this function. So in by one single variable, entire pipeline can be created. So this is also one of the way you can do in Scala. Plus you can do also in Python. Again, by chance, function name is same if you use any of the languages. Okay. Now we can save the file. We can do further operations, whatever you want to do. That will be your choice. So this also, guys, one of the good example to understand the concept. Okay. Let me give you one more example. Power of this example you might not able to see, but you can get the idea by this example what gonna happen. But I want to tell you one more small thing. This is a word count example, but I told you already Spark we can use for machine learning also. So if you go to this document, if you little bit go down, and there, guys, they give you one example of machine learning. Okay, so whatever your language comfortable with, Scala or Python. Okay, so I suggest, I'm not doing this, I suggest, because you know machine learning now high level, you also know Spark. Okay, so I want put some data. Okay, provide the labels and the features. Okay, create a data frame. Data frame is like a pandas data frame, something like this, and do depend logistic regression. What is logistic, fit the data show the prediction. Okay. So what is machine learning? You guys know Spark, Scala, Python, you know. Just try to read this example and try to perform by yourself and create some more example to create a model and prediction. Everything till date, guys, we are doing everything on the top of local computers. But now take this example, take also as a homework, run some machine learning model, whatever you know till date on the top of Spark. So take this as an example, or maybe you can try this simple example to perform it. Okay. One more example I want to take about Spark. So it is something like this. So let's say if you have a requirement, so we have a list, contain data, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And my requirement may be multiple requirement, but let's say I have very simple requirement. What I want to do, I want to do a square of all the number. And how can you do square? You know, pretty simple. In Python or any other language, you can do this square. So 1 square is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. So I want to perform this. But the interesting thing is, okay, if you're doing any running any code of any of your language, this entire process is running in your local computer. But what I want here, okay, let's say I have a cluster of multiple slave node, slave 1, slave 2, and slave 3, and I want to do some operation, let's say square. Okay, so I want this operation 1 multiplied 1 will perform in this slave, 2 multiplied 2 perform in this slave, 3 multiplied 3 perform in this slave. So I want my operations will distribute it and run in multiple slave. That this concept is called parallel or parallelize. So how I can do parallelization or parallelize operation in the Spark. Okay, I think this is a good example to also to perform this. So Spark, guys, obviously you can get the output, but right now we have one single node. But even though if you have more node, the demo that I'm going to show would be same. The only difference would be if you have more nodes, they will split and distribute your operations and run in multiple nodes and give you output back. Okay, so let me show you how we can do. So again, I'm using Scala only. Okay, and here I'm going to create one variable. This is my list, for example. Okay, and what I want to do, I want to store the list. So you want to create the list in the Scala. This is the function we can use. So I'm going to create a list of these numbers, and I want to do operation on this number in parallelism. Okay, maybe in distributed way. So in the Spark context, they provide you a function. This function is not from Scala or not from Python. Spark provide this function to you. Okay, this is called parallelize operation. Okay, I think this is the right spelling. Yeah, this one. Okay, so L1 Li message. Okay, and I'm storing this information in this function. Okay, so I'm asking this is data we're collecting from somewhere, but whatever operation I want to do on the top of this data, okay, top of this data would be in parallel way. Okay, now what you want to do on this data, I want to have to make it square. Okay, so I'll say my list, I want to do some operation. As you know, guys, whenever you want to transform any data in anywhere, this normally known as map. So I want to do some map operation. Okay, so what will happen? First data from this list go to map. I will store this data in X variable. Again, you can think X is a one argument of a function. You can think it is a function here. And inside the function, we have a block of code. And what I want to do with X, I want to square it. Okay, but here we don't have to give function name. So this function known as anonymous function. If you don't use curly braces, we can use this syntax. Okay, so what happened? So my first data in this variable go to map, they store in X, they do some operation on X, and they give the result back in the variable. Let's say my variable called square variable or my square variable. Okay, that's what I want. But here, guys, you can do this operation with Python or Scala also. But why I'm using RDD here? Because here they give me a capability of parallel results. Obviously, huge data, they will send a split of data in multiple nodes. They do the computation over their parallel and give the result back to you. And if you want to see the result, you can use my square dot collect. Again, I'm now, guys, as soon as I click action, then this RD done, and then this RD run, and they give the output to us. So working very fine. So there's no challenge to perform this. Or maybe there's one more way to print this. So I can say my square. Okay, and I want to pick this one, then this one, and this one. So I want to print one by one. Okay, and for this, there's a keyword called for each. So this is a for loop from the Scala. Okay, and they print one by one. Actually is print ln. Okay, so they pick this one, and this one. Randomly they might print, because depending on how internally they perform the operation. Okay, because for each, guys, in any of the language, they never give the same format, like dictionary. If you print, they will print any order. But for us, it doesn't matter. So this is also one of the way. This is the function from Spark. This is the keyword from Scala. You can use any of the keyword to perform the same thing. Okay, so this is also one of the good example I want to show you. One more last example I want to show you here is, let's say I have this much data. I want to do a square, but the condition is if my value is equals to 4, I don't want to do the square. So out of all this data, I don't want to use 4. So again, guys, this, if you want to do something that if 4 come up, then do something. If 4 doesn't come up, then don't do something. So it's again, guys, this concept was called filtering. Okay, so again, same data I'm using here, and this time on my list, instead of using map, I'm using filter function. Again, first data I will provide to my X. On the X, I will do some operation. Okay, what operation? Maybe I want to square root something, but here my operation would be if X is not equals to 4. Okay, then I will do some operation. Okay, so I'm writing some condition. If this is the condition, okay, is not equals to 4, then I store in X, and they store this data in a variable called, let's say, my final variable. Okay, and what my final will come up, I can see correct. You can see instead of 4, everything come. Now after filter, you can add one more option called map, and they will do square root or square. Okay, so we can create a chain, like pipeline. First do this, then do this, and then do this. So pipe we can create. So, or maybe my data come from file, then I parallelize, then filter, then map, then reduce and collect. So add on top of each other. So guys, here my list, then on my list I do filter, and a filter, I do this one. So this is, guys, kind of graph. This is one of the great example of see the real practical of the graph. So on the top of each other, we are performing this operation. Okay. So a lot of practicals, guys, I have shown you about RDD or the Spark, and plus I high level also introduced Scala as a language. Okay, so I think lots of practical we have done. I think I will share you all the codes to you. Practice this code for today's, just conclude the today's class. Any quick query if you have, you guys can ask. So anybody has any queries? I think Saswan, I take the RDD concept already. I think now you understand by the today's class what the meaning of RDD and how it is used. No, the Lavina, this is not recursion. It is like a graph. So it's not recursion. Okay, recursion means if you're calling same function inside other function, that is called recursion. So this is not the recursion. How can we prove this car? So Saswan is very simple. Okay, if your multi-node cluster capture the packet, right? You know TCP dump command. That is the best proof you have to check this operation is happening in parallel. Okay, so that's all. Why you different map and filter? And just one thing, if you have a data and you're searching some part, for example, this example. Okay, so here what we are doing, grep is the one who is filtering, searching for best. This was for filter. Okay, but if you have any data, for example, maybe I have data called as no login, I will change no login to login. Or maybe I use the name, I give the name a number, let's say 123. So any kind of transform, this called transform, this is the normal operation done by mapper. This is called map console. Okay, something like this. In this example, I convert my this data into this equal to 1. I give some number, is again this is concept for map. So can we explain the last concept again, filter before? Nothing. I said here, a condition. Okay, filter is a function. They say I will keep on running till I got 2. So when one run, this is 2, no, this is 2, no, this is 2, no. As soon this become true, sorry, this become false, filter only run when till the time you provide 2. So filter say, does I store 1 in this variable? What this condition say? True. Can I store 2 here in this variable? What they said? True. So 2 print. Can I store 4 in this variable? They say false. So filter don't run, they skip. So you can see 4 is not running. Okay. So we are checking condition here, but how we getting the variable value x? We're getting value x from this argument. And from where this x value argument come up? From this particular variable. Okay. So is Aditya, you can do sorting also. Okay, so we can find some sorting function also, like we have collect function, so we have sort by function also over here. So you can add one more, my final dot sort something, they will do sorting for you. Okay, so functions available, you can add further functions. So okay, so that's all, guys. See you next class. We'll do some more new things. Right? Bye. Take care.